In 1066, there was a single Viking berserker with an unknown name that withheld the power of 15,000 English soldiers during the battle for Stamford Bridge. After the airless death of King Edward the Confessor, Harold Godwinson became the new King of England through a complicated spree of events that are too boring to explain. However, Harald Hardrada, the last great Viking and the King of Norway, wanted the throne for himself. And in 1066, Hardrada and his Norsemen sailed to England to lay claim to the throne. After destroying a large English army near York, they figured they were safe and waited outside the city without armor and with only a portion of their soldiers. This was a giant mistake, as 15,000 English appeared out of nowhere. Despite being severely outnumbered, the Vikings refused to surrender and retreated across the bridge to the eastern side of the river, leaving the back of the army to hold off the English. This gave the Vikings that stayed on the bridge a favorable position. However, they died quickly until only one remained. According to legend, berserkers were warrior shamans that abandoned their humanity and fused their soul with the spirit of an animal, usually a bear. This gave them incredible strength and allowed them to fight in a trance-like state. In reality, there are historical accounts suggesting that Viking berserkers may have consumed substances like psychedelic mushrooms or herbal concoctions to induce a state of frenzy before battle. However, the exact substances they used are not well documented, and much of this information is based on speculation and folklore. Scandinavian society preferred staying away from these warriors, and they were often left to live alone in the forest. And it was believed they transformed into bears after living in the forest long enough. Since the bridge was very narrow, not many Englishmen could fit through, and the Viking was able to take them on one by one. As one Englishman died, another would run over his corpse to fight the Norsemen. However, fighting with a giant Danish axe and embracing his supernatural rage, the berserker killed over 40 English soldiers, while one source even says he was hit by a javelin but continued fighting. Until one Englishman jumped in a barrel and floated down the river, stabbing the Viking to his groin from under the bridge. The rest of the battle went far beyond the bridge itself, and although it raged for hours, the Norse army's decision to leave their armor behind left them at a distinct disadvantage. Eventually, the Viking army fractured, and the English managed to force their way in, breaking up the shield wall. As the Vikings were now completely outflanked and with Hardrada killed by an arrow, the Norse army was destroyed. However, this victory didn't last long for the English, as William the Conqueror soon launched his conquest of England, eventually claiming the English crown. Thank you for watching the video, subscribe for more.